Welcome back to the special edition of What's Up Oxford, all about the City of Woodstock. Joining me next is Brad Hammond, Development Officer for the City of Woodstock. Welcome, Brad.
Thanks, Colleen. Thanks for having me.
So to start, maybe you can just tell viewers a little bit about your role and what you do for the city.
Yeah, sure. I always tell my wife I wish I was a plumber, because if I said I was a plumber, people would know what that means. But when you say you're an economic development officer, it can mean a lot of different things. Our office gets involved in kind of traditional economic development, from business recruitment and attraction, obviously, as well as kind of caretaking for businesses that are here. Other things that we get involved in are, we've got a part of our department does small business. We've got a physician recruiter, and most recently a downtown development officer.
That's great. So one of the projects that's been really active lately is the city's newest industrial park on Pattullo Ave. Can you tell us a little bit about how that project and initiative came about?
Yeah, it's kind of a land development process. We bought the land in 2017, and since then, we've been doing all the various studies and designs that are needed to get to the point where you actually undertake construction. About a year and a half ago, we started construction, putting the pipes under the ground and building the roads and that kind of thing. And we finally just this past summer got to the point that we're confident enough the park's going to be done soon, and we can start selling land. And that's what's been taking place at council most recently.
And so there's been a number of different land sales since the summer?
Yeah, we were very fortunate this time around. First time that we've done it, but we sold the land through an RFP process, or request for proposal. The reason that we did that was we kind of accumulated a long list of people that were interested in buying land, more than we had land. So there were more buyers than there was land. So we did it as an RFP process to give everyone, I guess, kind of an equal chance to state their case, or convince the city that that would be the best person to sell the land to, or the best company rather. So we did the RFP process. We had like somewhere around 18 or 19 proposals come in. All of them were very good. We would have liked to accommodate all of them. Unfortunately, we were a little bit shy on land, so we're going to end up with 8 or 9 land sales by the time we're done. We've gone through 6 land sales already, probably another 2 to come.
That's great. And is that normal that there's that much interest in that, or is that a result of the work that you did to get us there?
Yeah, well, I'd like to claim responsibility for all of it. The reality is it's a supply and demand issue. There's a shortage of serviced industrial land across southern Ontario, Toronto to Windsor type thing. So that really made it for a very hot market. As I said, this is the first time we've ever had the luxury of doing it as an RFP. When I first came to Woodstock, the business park that we're sitting in now, Pattullo Ridge, took us about 30 years to sell out. Commerce Way was more like 10 years. The land we have up on Devonshire Avenue, more like 3 years. So the timeline between offering the land for sale and selling it out is becoming quicker and quicker.
Great. Yeah. And so it sounds like there's lots of great opportunities with all these new businesses coming, more jobs, more people. Like many cities in southern Ontario, housing is a challenge. What are some of the ways that economic development might support getting more housing built as well?
Yeah, the area of the market that we play in is mostly industrial commercial development. We do get involved in residential land from time to time. So one of the projects we're involved is rezoning the Cedar Creek Golf Course for high density residential. Again, so it's a lot of the same kind of land development process, where you need to undertake studies to verify that the land's appropriate for development, and that's we've been redeveloping. There's about 6 acres there where the clubhouse used to sit. The clubhouse has been torn down recently. That we're going through the process to rezone it for high density residential. We'll put that out through RFP as well, and let someone from the private sector buy the land and actually construct the units there. So we're getting near doing that. Hopefully, this spring we'll be offering it for sale. And
recently, council approved direction to staff to go ahead with a community improvement plan related to residential?
Yeah, community improvement plan is probably something the general public doesn't really understand very well. I think the thought out there is that municipalities offer tax breaks or incentives to businesses all the time. That's frankly not the case in Ontario. There's the Municipal Act prohibits it through it's called anti-bonusing legislation. The one exception is if you have this planning document called a community improvement plan that identifies a specific area where you outline the grants and the incentives and the loans that you're able to provide. We've had one for the downtown for quite a number of years now. It's been fairly successful. We're looking at expanding it citywide on the housing side to encourage more affordable housing or attainable housing and things like that. So that's coming forward. I think that'll probably be to council by March, April timeframe.
Great, thanks for that background. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about the work that you do?
Yeah, it's been a busy time. It's very exciting. So in our role, no 2 days are alike, which is great. Um, I think the point I'd like to make is, a lot of what we do in our office, we get to be the ones that make the announcement that there's a new business coming or an expansion or something like that. Frankly, it really is a team effort with the city. So our clerks department, our engineering department, planning staff, and so forth are all involved in it all the way along.
Great. And obviously, the businesses in our community have a lot to do with this and have stand to gain from some of these new investments as well. How does that factor into the work that you do in terms of, sort of navigating those relationships or looking for those opportunities to create connections within the business network?
Yeah, so the business retention and expansion is kind of the unseen part of our work as well. We try to keep a fairly close relationship with existing businesses, hoping that when they have a concern or they're in growth mode, that they reach out to us. And we try to be a facilitator or kind of shepherd them through that process. It's in Woodstock, our staff are fairly easy to work with in other departments, so it doesn't come up often, but we try to play a role where we can to help them grow. We work also with them on workforce development, so it's no secret the labor market's pretty tight in Southern Ontario right now. So we work with organizations like Community Employment Services to help put on career fairs. There's a big one coming up in March that people should hear more about shortly. So those, there's these activities that we work at kind of at the fringes of what people might think economic development normally looks like.
Brad, thank you for joining us today and telling us a little bit more about some of those exciting new developments coming to Woodstock. And again, people can find more information about that at cometothecrossroads.ca. So that brings us to the end of the City of Woodstock special today. You can find all the information about the topics we shared today at cityofwoodstock.ca. I'm your host, Colleen Collins, and thanks for watching.